Beyoncé's life is strangely similar to the character she played in Dreamgirls, Deena Jones. I watched the film the other day and I'm like, wait a minute, everything seems so connected. Now, of course, Dreamgirls was around before Beyoncé's career. The Broadway play came out in 1981, the same year Beyoncé was born. When she was about 15, her choreographer Frank Gatson called her Deena Jones, and at the time she didn't even know about Dreamgirls.
The first time I met my choreographer, I was 15, he said, Deena Jones, Dreamgirls. And I was like, what is that? And he said, go get the soundtrack. When I heard they were doing this movie, I was like, okay, this is finally the part that I know is made for me. And my choreographer, Frank Gatson, kept telling me, you gotta do Dreamgirls. I just knew that I was supposed to be Deena.
It turns out that Beyoncé ended up being the first person casted for the film. In interviews, people would always ask Beyoncé if there are similarities between her and Deena, since she also started out in a group, but she never really agreed to that.
So I think when people see Deena, they automatically assume, oh, this is perfect for Beyoncé, she's a singer as well. So for you, was it a really challenging role?
It was, because Deena is so different from me, even though she's dressed up and there's pain behind her eyes.
Did you at all personally relate? Because you just said Deena's a very subtle person.
I guess so, but we were two different people.
So then you knew what it was like to be a part of a group, you know, in the group Dreamettes, right?
Definitely.
So you knew all the experiences and all the little intrigue that sometimes goes on, and whatever goes on when four girls get together and work together.
Sure. Right, definitely. Yeah. I actually didn't draw on my own experiences because our dynamics in our group was so different from this movie, and my personal need is different from Deena, so I didn't use my own experiences, right. But it did help to know how it feels to have, you know, girls that you love and harmony and, you know, some of the experiences.
But there are some similarities between Beyoncé and Deena Jones. Let's get into it. The first similarity is trying to get a record deal with the group since the age of 9. Beyoncé was about 9 years old when she started off in a group, and of course their main focus was to get a record deal just like Deena Jones in Dreamgirls. They tried and failed until it happened for them with the help of a manager who was a salesman initially with no musical background. The character Curtis in Dreamgirls was a car salesman, and Matthew used to be a salesman too, but he sold medical equipment. Both Curtis and Matthew ended up managing a musical group and eventually had their own successful music companies. Curtis had Rainbow Records and Matthew had Music World Entertainment, where they eventually signed other acts. Curtis took on a group called the Campbell Connections, and Matthew had already established acts signed like Earth, Wind and Fire and Shaka Khan, but he too had newer acts, for example, this group called Play. Number 3, singing leads she didn't necessarily want to. In Dreamgirls, Deena didn't start off as the lead singer, but when she heard she was going to, she said she didn't want to. Since Effie was upset initially, the group Beyoncé was in, Girls Time, she was also not the lead. She was the second lead until the lead singer left, then she became the lead. By the time the group was named Destiny's Child, she would sing most of the songs, even though she didn't always want it that way, and felt like the other girls could sing some parts as well. But Matthew wasn't having that, and overall, we see Beyoncé getting more attention than the others. We always hear how Beyoncé stands in the middle, gets the most attention during photo shoots. The media puts most of the attention on her instead of the entire group.
It's clear that the group is Beyoncé and the girls, so why don't you just go solo? No disrespect to the other girls, but you know, we see how things are shaping up. You guys are on TV, the camera stays on you, you get the hottest Dior, they get your leftovers, and you know, that's a compliment to you. Why don't you just go solo?
Well, I don't think that the group is Beyoncé and the girls. And I definitely don't get the hottest looks, and the cameras definitely don't stay on me.
Oh, come on.
I sing the lead. And like in SWV and in any other group, when someone sings the lead, then the camera is on them because they're singing the majority of the song.
Because I had heard at one point that you all, you know, Destiny's Beyoncé and the girls, that you all weren't allowed to perform and do a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry, can you please not call us Beyoncé and the girls?
I have to.
Because that is definitely an insult to Kelly and Michelle.
No, I like them, but the attention stays on you. It does.
And that's exactly what happened in Dreamgirls. Curtis started giving Deena special treatment, and the press would ask questions about mainly her. And naturally, that would make the other girls feel unappreciated, which would lead to feelings of resentment developing. Effie definitely started feeling some type of way about how things were going. She felt like Deena was living the dream she wanted, and she started acting up in retaliation. She walked off set, she wasn't cooperating in the studio, etc. It's the same thing with Latoya and Latavia. They felt like Matthew didn't care about them, so they started having attitudes and all that.
Latoya and myself just simply started sitting back. Like, you know, you get older, you hear things. So we just started like really just looking and seeing how things were ran, and we weren't pleased, you know, with the way that things were ran. So we had to disaffirm Matthew's contract, you know, in order to even almost be heard, because we were told at a certain amount of time that, you know, we didn't even do enough in the group to have an opinion.
Kelly Rowland, on the other hand, much like Laurel, didn't really seem to care that much about all that stuff, which checks out because they weren't the ones who got pushed to the side the most. So in the end, Latoya and Latavia gets kicked out the group while Kelly remained, just like Laurel remained in the group, while Effie gets kicked out and gets replaced by a new girl named Michelle. Literally, you can't make this up. And also, Effie didn't know she was replaced. Nobody told her. Latoya and Latavia also claimed that they didn't know they were replaced until they saw Say My Name video on BET.
Latoya and I, we never quit the group.
Never quit.
We never quit.
Never left. Never even said anything about quitting the group.
What was that like, though, when you heard that they'd shot a video for a song you sang on without you?
I was like, nah, you playing, shut up.
I was like, hold on. I was like, it's not true. Then we got another call, and we heard it again. Then the next thing, I'm looking at BET. The premiere of Destiny's Child's new video, Say My Name. That's how we heard about it.
Number 7, Deena doing solo stuff. Deena had so much focus on her to the point she started doing solo endeavors while still in the group. Curtis wanted to get her into acting, and he wanted her to do the movie Cleopatra. It's the same thing with Beyoncé. While she was still in Destiny's Child, before the group even took a break, she did the movie Carmen, the hip opera.
Actually, I wasn't going to do the movie because I was very scared. But Kelly and Michelle told me they would kill me if I didn't do it. And they actually came to the set and visited me. Kelly spent like half of the time there with me. And there's nothing but love and support in Destiny's Child.
Beyoncé, who do you want to work with in the studio that you haven't worked with yet?
We actually want to work with Michael Jackson or Stevie Wonder or one of the wonderful legends.
Even the name of the group was all Deena. The group started out being called Dreamettes, which by the way they were 16, and this was when they got their first big break. Destiny's Child also was 16 when things really started happening for them. So the group, when they got older, was renamed The Dreams, and eventually it became Deena Jones and The Dreams. Though Destiny's Child was always named Destiny's Child, people often referred to the group as Beyoncé and Destiny's Child. People even made a play on the name Destiny's Child because Beyoncé's mother's name is Tina. They would call the group Das Tina's Child because the dynamic of the group was centered around Beyoncé like it was centered around Deena in Dreamgirls. Despite all this, Deena eventually left the group and ultimately left the manager. Curtis was controlling and Deena couldn't stand it anymore. Matthew and Beyoncé would also not see eye to eye so often.
To write a song and to sing a song, it takes at least 5 hours.
Do you ever think you push them too hard? Do you ever think that?
No.
No?
No, not at all.
Never?
Never.
If we were not mentally exhausted, then maybe it would be possible, but y'all been working us since 7 o'clock this morning.
I agree.
But we can try. We can try, but you really pushing it.
I just believe in the children.
No, it's not about belief. You
just vibe. I'm out of here. You right here? Thank you.
I can't take him. I just cannot take him. He thinks we are super women. Thank you. Please. Do it. Get closer.
Beyonce and I, we go at it sometimes because sometimes creatively we disagree. Most of the time she's right.
As we know, Beyoncé eventually left Matthew and started managing herself.
Oh, I'm screaming out and my dreams will be heard. They will not be pushed aside or worse. Been to your own, all 'cause you won't listen.
And like Curtis, Matthew found other people. After the Dreams broke up, Curtis introduced this new girl that no one cared about named Tania Williams. And after Destiny's Child broke up, Matthew had a range of acts, including a new girl group trio named Blush Music, who y'all probably didn't know about until now, but no one cared. All we care about is a reunion. At the end of Dreamgirls, we see the group reunite with the original member Effie. This is a dream for many Destiny's Child fans. They are dying to see not only a Destiny's Child reunion, but they also want to see them with the original members as well. Will that part play out in Beyoncé's life? We've seen her reunite Destiny's Child a few times, such as at Coachella and the Super Bowl, but will there ever be a tour? We'll have to wait and see. I too want a DC reunion, but we have to be realistic. The last time Destiny's Child included the original members was in the 90s. We have no idea how the ladies would sound singing together now, plus Latavia probably hasn't sang in years. I have to mention that these two women, especially Latavia, did lose their confidence at one point, just like Effie did. But would y'all want a Destiny's Child reunion? Let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments.